Sorry, muted. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another live hangout here on Omni Lucid Media Games channel. I am joined with the creators of this company and these games, Ryan Neters and Brian Skull. How are you fellas doing today?
Good, man.
Not bad. Not bad.
Not bad. That's good. Sorry we're starting late, guys. There's a bit of a kerfuffle there with audio and all that stuff. So I apologize. We're going to get everything tightened up later on, but we're rolling with it. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to share this out on social media. We're going to let everybody know what we're doing here. While we're doing that, Ryan, if you could tell us what your role is in this beautiful company and where people can find you personally on your social medias. And then after you, we'll go with Brian while I'm sharing this out. So let us know, guys.
Yeah, so for anybody that's joining for the first time, my name is Ryan Neters. I'm the, I guess, co-creator of Omni Lucid Media Games, as well as of Drakkar. And as far as titles, as much as we are somewhat using them, I am the lead designer. As far as finding me on socials, just Ryan Neters on Facebook or Instagram.
Nice, right on. Mr. Skull.
Co-creator of Omni Lucid, and I'm the head artist. And I'm on Facebook and Instagram, so it's just Brian Skull Art, and also on the internet with a website, which is also just brianskullart.com. So just keeping it simple. But if you really want to pay attention to the art. Although we do have an Instagram page for the Omni Lucid page as well. So we're on Instagram. Instagram is probably the better place to go.
Definitely. And that's what we are here to discuss today, guys. We're here to discuss art design, game design, things like that. We did talk a little bit with Ryan last week or the week before, a little bit about just a Q&A, where the game's at, some of the new stuff that has come with the game. But like I said, today we're talking about the art, the amazing, beautiful art that Brian Skull does for this amazing company. I love your artwork, man. And I've actually been very protective of the posters that Ryan gave me. Nice. I have them set aside. I gotta measure them and everything, and then I will go out and get frames, very nice frames. I will spend money on the frames, and then they're gonna go right in front of me in the studio as inspirational reminders to keep pushing. So
thanks, man.
So yeah. So tell us a little bit, Brian, about your art, where your inspiration comes from for this sort of art. Tell us a little bit about that.
For the first, so digital art is very new to me, and I got serious with it probably about 2 years ago, and just starting to do it more. I have the classical art background, so but jumping into digital art was a challenge that I wanted to undertake, and then with Ryan and I talking about, wanting to do something more together, and him coming up with the initial versions of Drakkar, then it seemed just like a perfect pairing. There's a lot of firsts for all of us. So it's like, well, let's tackle this digital art thing in the context of building a game, and so I can trial by fire, And then as far as the style goes, I wanted. How do I put this? Probably taking an approach that I was most comfortable with, which is just going sort of more heavy on the realism side. So, and just for the purpose being that it's just the first time out. So it's just the style that I'm more comfortable with, that I have most practice with. It's not as illustrative. And then we'll see what happens after, in the coming games. But, as far as this game goes, we wanted to take more of a traditional approach, just even in terms of just what the game's about. So it just kind of fit. It all kind of fit together,
Right on. Now let me ask you this, man. The transition from a physical medium being a canvas and stuff like that, which I'm guessing that's what you're used to doing art on, yes?
Yeah.
Going from that to a digital, Because you are a very I guess for a lack of a better term, earthy kind of guy. You like you're very into the physical side of things, which is one of the things I love about you. But tell me the transition from going from that physical medium, which you do tremendous on, then to the digital side of things, which is also just as tremendous and really almost a little different kind of style for you. I think if you look at some of your older art and look at your newer art digitally, there is slight differences there. Now, tell me a little bit about that transition.
It sucked. It really sucked because you learn traditionally, and when you're learning traditionally, like you said, you get a physical sensation of the materials, right? So you learn how the materials feel, and how they feel is part of the learning process. So and then when you approach, like when I'm approaching painting, like this painting right here, it was sort of like when I'm tackling it, I want people to have the physical experience of how I molded the oil paint. So there's a lot of physicality, right? So that's all gone. That's all gone. Like everything feels exactly the same when you're doing it digitally. Everything is just smooth. And when I first started, it kind of felt like how when you're first learning how to ice skate, right? You're like, whoa, like where?
I remember those days,
right? Like it's exactly how it feels. You're like, I can't, like, when I'm drawing, it feels like I'm slipping. It feels like I'm slipping over to the left or something, so there's no resistance, so like you have to like create those boundaries. And it's real, like with anything, I just had to sit down and had to do it every day. And
that's something I've noticed with artists is that it's you have to do it every day to not only get better, but to keep your current skills up. Real quick, Beard Plays, how you doing there, buddy? He says 3 p.m., huh? Yeah, well, hey, you know what? Sometimes there's technical difficulties and you got to figure out. I just assume from here on out, considering what happened to Ryan and I with the last stream, with getting shut down for whatever stupid, like literally no clue how the stream got shut down, but it did. And the only thing I could think of is it's YouTube bots just not doing their business, or not doing it right. But anyway, yeah, thank you for being here, Beard Plays. Let's see.
Yeah,
Keshi Queen, what's up, darling? Hi, guys. How are you doing today? Thank you for being here. Thank you for the support. We appreciate that. Scotty Mick, what's going on, my friend? How are you today? Hey there.
Going on, Scotty?
Welcome. Yeah, thank you for coming by. Absolutely. Let's see. Matt Beer Play says, who let Mad Maddie in here? Ruffian.
Mad Marty? Is Jeff here?
Mad Marty. Oh, Mad Marty. I didn't see. Oh, yeah. Mad Respect. What up? Mad Respect TV. Let's see who else is in the chat. How are you doing, Mad Respect TV? Thank you for joining us. Oh yeah, that's okay. I just want to introduce you guys to Mankini 90. This is another artist friend of mine, a great artist. He's doing a lot of really cool things. He's been designing some t-shirts for some other YouTubers and stuff. Super cool guy. Thank you for being here, man. It's great that we're talking art and you're here. So hang out with us. All right, so let's get back into it.
Brian's got some cool stuff to show off this one. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
We art people.
We've got some cool stuff to show for sure.
Pinkies up.
Right. Okay, so now let me ask you this. Now that you've kind of dove into the digital aspect of it all, what do you like better? Do you still like the physical side of things, or do you like the digital side of things? Or do you can you combine both? Is there a way to do that? Talk to me.
Oh yeah. Like I do combine both. When I'm working on problems with painting in real life, I'll take a photograph and I'll Photoshop the fix and see if it works Photoshopped, and then if it does, then I copy what I did in Photoshop. So you kind of get to this layered approach. But it's hard to say because there's this ongoing debate that digitally it doesn't exist in real life, right? But you can make infinite copies, whereas a painting, it's only one of a kind, but and then once it's gone, it's gone. But then you take the digital photograph of the painting, and then you can make infinite copies as well. So it's kind of tough because I always am like, well, if you can make infinite copies of something, doesn't that reduce its value down to zero? But at the same time, it's more accessible, which makes it more valuable in terms of how many people are able to see it, right? So I go back and I don't know.
Art seems to be. I'll say art seems to be that weird place where, it's weird. Like the more people that get to see it, you think it's worth more. The less copies you have, it seems to be worth more. But then, like you just said, I said that the more people that can see it, the more it becomes, valuable, at least in the art aspect. Like, I guess when I think valuable, I don't necessarily think financially. I'm thinking, what does this art contribute to?
You have to look at it that it's basically what kind of, are you wanting it to be worth more money, or do you want more people to see it? Because if you want it to be worth more money, probably the physical painting where there's only one in the world, now it's going to be worth more. But that means that worth more money, but less people are going to see it. Whereas if you do the digital, more people are going to see it, but it's going to be worth less money. So it's kind of, hey, would you rather more people know and see your work, or would you rather, hey, I can make a big payoff on this one piece?
Yeah, so that makes me think. And first off, hey Thomas, but it makes me think of like, okay, so like, it's not enough for me to just make a painting, and because the painting is standalone and it's self-contained, and the questions and answers are all within it, and or don't reside anywhere outside of it unless you're referencing literature. So, but with digital art gives me the ability to make a work of art within the context of the game, right? So it has to fit on multiple levels. It has to fit aesthetically. It has to fit with the gameplay. It has to fit with what you want the player to feel when they see it and view it, the entire aesthetics of the entire game, as opposed to just, here's one painting, that's it, right? So that's the real fun challenge, is like, okay, here's this digital piece. Now, here it is in the game. This is why it's there. And it works like that with just design, and that's the fun part, is how fine art, in what fine art taught me with design, it's really helping me when Ryan and I are prototyping and problem solving, because all the design that you learn from putting together a classical painting can be used in principle with other things, and designing a game is no exception to that. So it's been fun to take that skill set and to try and to see how it applies here.
So basically the digital just allows you to get a little more creative with it, in a sense of how it fits, and you're not really limited to a specific space. You can edit it to fit a specific space, as opposed to like, you have this big piece of art that looks beautiful, but only this much of that art is going to fit on a card. You can fix that, right? Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Thomas Gilkey, hail, my friend. Thank you for stopping by, brother. We love you, Thomas Gilkey, and thank you so much for the support. This guy supports more people than I could ever hope to imagine. He's just a good guy. So thank you for being here, brother. I appreciate it. Moira Kitty, darn it, I didn't know you were streaming. Well, technically, I'm not streaming. I'm just hosting this beautiful stream. It's these two fine gentlemen to your right, my left, and the gentleman below me, Brian Skull and Ryan Nieters. I want you to meet these two gentlemen. They're awesome. They built a board game company, and I work with them. I don't really design anything. I don't. They ask me, should we do this? I say, sure. Let's do this social media stuff. Let's do that. We'll do a stream.
Hold on. Now you're downplaying it, because between you're the only other person aside from me and Ryan who's played Jakar more than anybody else, and you were really helpful when we were first trying to figure out what's wrong with the game. So
I suppose I just love the game so much, man, and really, like, being a part of this isn't about like the glory, man. It's just about like believing in this thing. Like, I've seen people come up with games before, but when you have friends who create something that's like legit, like, it feels like you're playing a game that you just went to the comic shop and picked up off the shelf. So, I'll give this a try. Throw it on your table, and you're like, wow, this is amazing. But yeah, anyway, thank you, Morikita, for being here. We are going to be doing regular streams on this channel. Mostly hosted by me, I hope. Sometimes these guys, Brian's got a crazy schedule. We all crazy, so we may be in and out, some of us. But thank you so much for being here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you like Vikings, if you like board games, this is the place to be. Thank you so much. Let's see. Mad Respect has a question for the team. How was working on the game project evolved you as an artist? How have you gained new confidences from the experience? So let's start with the first one. Tell us about how you've evolved as an artist.
The good thing about working digitally is that there is no cleanup and you can do it anytime, which means anytime I'm sitting down watching TV, I'm sketching. And so over the last 2 years of sketching digitally, I've done more work than I have. I don't know. I've done so much work, and it doesn't feel like work, a lot of it, because, so how that translates is I was worried at first that because of I got a job as a museum mount maker, and so I travel sometimes, and so that takes away from studio time. And so my fear in the back of my head was, well, am I going to lose my skills, right? And so I'm traveling and I'm doing digital work, and then I finally get back into the studio because I had a long period of time where I was gone. I was gone for like a month and a half, periodically, and I couldn't get into the studio. When I finally get back into the studio, no, I suffered. I didn't suffer at all. I actually had an improvement. My understanding of color was sharper, faster. Like it's just, look, doing work is doing work. Practice is practice, right? And so, my drawing only got better, and I've only gotten faster. So I can't, I love it.
Right on. And the other question is, have you gained any new confidences from your experience?
Oh yeah. Just being able to dive in there, and just in my approach, I'm far more confident that I'll be able to resolve something. Like when you're first starting out doing art, the fear that you're that you're not gonna be able to figure out how to figure it out, like that you're gonna come across a problem that you just can't figure out, and that's some of the biggest obstacles when you're first starting. And so, like at this point, with digitally, it's like, well, I know how to draw and I know how to paint. I really just need to learn the software, to learn this program, right? And that's just like, okay, well, just check out a YouTube video. And
that's like mechanical. That's mechanical at that point. Yeah. It's not necessarily skill. It's just how to use the tools that are available to you.
Yeah. And that is a big obstacle, but if you have everything else taken care of, you can transition pretty quickly. I worry a lot less on shortcuts because I just know how to do it. What I discovered that a lot of people starting out digitally, and this is their first run into digital art, is that they don't know how to draw or paint away from digital. And so they're looking for shortcuts. So they're looking for tutorials on how to do that from the digital perspective. And that's just like, this is where the traditional and the digital need to feed each other. Some of the best artists, my favorite artists, they have their feet in both worlds. So the one has to fuel the other.
Right on. No, that makes a lot of sense. Now, since Neaters is over here so quiet, like a little ghost.
I was actually going to say, it's funny because even though, like Brian is obviously doing all the artwork on all this, but even with the carving stuff, it's even that I've already improved from doing that, which in the beginning, I was just carving because in my head, I always thought it was cool, like all the intricate, like chess sets and stuff. And, I was always kind of like, man, one of these days I'm going to carve out my own chess set and make it look really badass and really cool and all this stuff. So then when we were doing this, it was like, hey, all right, well, now I'm going to, carve out my own pieces. But I had literally never done that before when I did our first pieces. And luckily, they came out pretty good, but even just in the two differences of designs, like we've already switched from the archer and the chieftain already got switched, which not that they looked horrible, but just looking at the two side by side, like I can see it where I'm like, man, I got a lot better at this already. Like I was able to actually add in like the
Yeah.
chieftain, especially because he initially didn't have his, he didn't have his cape with the fur and all that on around
Which I
the
love.
shoulders. And now that I've carved a few of these pieces, like when I did the new chieftain, I was able to actually not only put like the cape on him, but actually carve it in a way so that there's actually some like ripples and folds in the cloth. And I'm sure if I keep practicing at it, I'll probably just continue to get better. So it's actually been a lot of fun for me to do that. And unfortunately, I have to get it right the first time. Otherwise, I have to start all over because with carving up stuff out of wood, once it's gone, it's gone. I can't just put it back into place.
Right.
In fact, the first Berserker was a great testament to that because it came out just looking all jacked up and it looked really weird and goofy and but yeah, so it's definitely awesome doing this stuff because my carving skills have definitely gotten better from working on this.
I remember a few years back at one of the Paloozas, you made everybody it was like the fantasy theme one, I think. You made everybody weapons out of wood.
Oh yeah,
that was cool. Yeah. That was cool, man.
That was probably my first real stab at making stuff. I mean, I'd probably made other things before somewhat, but that was like my first real, and that was all big stuff. That was the big difference. Is this is tiny little pieces. So, and I'm using a Dremel to do it, and it's on hard wood, so I actually have to like really take stuff away. Those weapons were all made out of cedar, so it was pretty soft wood. But yeah, no, definitely, it's been a lot of fun.
Moira Kitty says, "Hello, Ords friends."
Hello.
So yeah, hello. Thank you for being here. Yeah.
The other part of the design. The other part of the design part is that often, sometimes I'll just get stuck, or sometimes it's just better if Ryan has an idea in his head for him to just sketch it out. And so there have been numerous times where like I've just taken his design and I just paint over it and then, do my thing on top of what he's figured out. So it's not just straight, me designing all the aesthetics. It's sort of like this partnership back and forth, where it's like, well, what do you think about this? And then to send me a sketch and sort of communicating back and forth via sketches, which is this really fun way to communicate. So it's been an enjoyable part of the process.
Yeah, that's nice, been a lot of fun, which putting different stuff up. We'll have to do that and put it in one of the posts, like the sketch of the box cover, like the sketch I did, or maybe the bandage or something. The other ones, I think you maybe took some things from it and then turned it into what it is now. Of the cards, though, the bandage one has got to be probably the closest to what I did as to what you turned it into. But yeah. It's been really fun. Well, and Brian even made the comment. What was really funny about the pieces is when I redid the chieftain and the archer, because how that started was I first carved those pieces, and then when Brian did the artwork for those cards, for the class cards, he based those off of the carvings that I did. And then after seeing his artwork, then I went back in and I recarved the pieces based off of his artwork. So it's kind of funny because it was just kind of like a little bit of a ladder system. Like, yeah, no, I like that better. I like that better. So yeah, we were just constantly feeding off of each other's ideas, which that's great, awesome. In a partnership.
Well, yeah, no, absolutely. It's nice when you can have that, when you guys gel together like that. And I think you both have been playing games for so many years that I think you guys have a pretty good grasp of what it takes to make a good game, and especially the artwork. Kashik says, "Cool, Brian. I love seeing your pics from New York."
Thank you.
Yeah, that was interesting, man. I'm glad you are okay.
Me too.
Mad Respect TV, if you guys ever do a con to promote the game, the woodworking could serve you guys well in giveaways or sellables. Not a bad idea. So
we were supposed to be at Gen Con. We had a table reserved. We were going to be play testing like crazy. So the future is, if things can clear up, oh man, we want to get to cons. Cons
I'm
are
so
Gen Con.
upset.
It was going to be my first Gen Con too.
Mine too. I'm so upset. All this. I mean, this was gonna be the year, man.
Oh man, I know. It just put a stop. It just like held everything up.
It's like I was telling you guys in that chat the one day. I was like, I'm going camping next month. I have to if I don't. And you're like, hey, let me remind you. And I'm
I just don't want, you know what? Just don't go to a tourist trap. Hey,
that's true.
You go, just don't go to a tourist trap.
Nah, you made a very valid point, man. And that's why I felt, I was like, oh, damn it, he's right. But no, yeah, this sucks that we aren't gonna get to go to do that. But I think it'd be cool, man. Do like a carving from Neaters himself as a prize or something. I think that'd be, one of a kind item from the creator of the co-creator of the game himself. And then maybe Mr. Skull could do some really cool artwork painting on it or something like that. That'd be cool. Just ideas. I like that idea though. I like that. I'm not speaking for these two guys. I'm just saying.
Well, we do have stickers. Was our thing we were going to be giving away. We had some Drakkar stickers that were going to go out again at Gen Con and the cons and all that. But that's okay. That just means we'll have them for whenever we are able to get out there and give them to people and get it all out there. But it is what it is. We just got to keep moving on and working with it.
Absolutely. Now, let me ask you this, Ryan. I'm going to put you on the spot. What is your favorite piece of art that Brian has created for Drakkar?
For Drakkar specifically?
Yeah.
I mean, the first one that popped into my head was the box cover. And probably pretty... Yeah, the box cover is really cool. There's also the Jom's Viking card where it's just pretty epic, even though and I don't know how much time and that went into it. When you look at it, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot to it, but it's just the tone of it, because it's a sun in the background and it's shadowing out the two characters. And yeah, there you go. So did
you send that to me?
I might have, but there we go.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, the artwork is just radiating itself. When you look at that card, you feel like there is legitimately a light bulb or a light source coming out of that card. It's such a badass card. But yeah, I think the box artwork probably beats it, just because it has all the piece, or all the characters on it and all that. But that one for sure for the cards. I just love how that turned out and how it looks.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I haven't seen a lot of the cards yet, to be honest with you. I've seen some of the artwork that's on the cards, but I have not seen like the cards put together yet. I don't think. Sorry, we're gonna go over a few of these videos that you sent here very shortly, but. Tom from Midnight's Edge After Dark. What's up, brother? Thank you so much. He says, not a huge gamer, but here to show some love for my boy Ords. This is why I love you. Thank you so much, Tom. You are an amazing guy, and I have to get back on your channel. I love your channel, and he does these really cool streams where they're radio streams, and it's all like movie soundtracks and stuff like that, where he plays music from movies and pop culture, and I love it. But anyway, thank you so much, Tom, for being here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, man. Appreciate it. Let's see. Scotty Mick says next year's Gen Con will be even better as a result of all of this waiting. I sure hope so, man.
Oh, I can't wait to for anybody that doesn't know who Scotty is. He works with Blacklist Games, which anybody that watches our videos, they know that I'm always giving shout outs to those guys, just because they're really cool guys. I met them all at Gen Con last year. We really hit it off, not only just by games, but just in general. Like, we were just having a great time talking about all sorts of like 80s movies and references and all that type of stuff. But I really got to give those guys a lot of credit, because just how many questions I'm sure I've been annoying it multiple times, because I'm constantly asking those guys for advice and what they do and how they do certain things. But yeah, so Scotty's one of the guys over at Blacklist Games. I'll tell you guys always and forever, you need to check them out. They have some awesome games, a lot of great stuff coming out. But yeah, Scotty, I can't wait till the next Gen Con or even the next con where we can all meet up in person and hang out again, man.
Oh yeah, no, Scotty sounds like a nice guy. I'd love to meet you. Well, thank you for being here, Scotty. Thank you for all the support, for these guys and Blacklist Games, guys. Go check them out. I don't know if my mod could get something in the chat, maybe a link. Scotty, if you want to share your link in the chat, by all means, feel free to do that. Blacklist Games, guys, go check them out. Thank you for being here. Real quick, I'm just gonna catch up to the chat. Yeah, I love you. Love you too, Ors. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate that. He says I do all kinds of stuff and I don't sleep. That's okay too. Oh, he says for sure, man. I'll buy you a beer. There you go. Look at that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'll bring him free beer. It'll be great.
Man, we got a brewer in house. We got a brewer. Oh no,
yeah.
Here we go. Well, actually, you both do. You both make the.
Oh yeah, water. Mr. Mead over here.
That's true. Yeah. Jordan can bring the beer. I'll bring the mead. We'll have a real Viking celebration, and
I was actually drinking your mead the other day, man.
What's that?
I was drinking your mead the other day.
Oh, yo, you still have some left?
I had a little bit left, and I was feeling squirrely, so I said, "Yeah, why not?"
I got another batch brewing right now, so
nice. True Viking over here. True Viking.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we got some footage here that you want to be seen. Is that correct, there, Mr. Skull?
Yeah. Since the topic is art and design, it's fun to go back and look at like various art elements that like what it takes to make it. It's fun to see just how many iterations you can go through before you land on something that you like. And so it's always funny to me, go back and watch a time lapse, and you watch all your decision making skills, and so that it's educational, if anything. So
right on, man. Yeah, well, we're gonna take a look at some time lapses here, and this is some of my favorite artwork that you've done for the game, and I know this is on one of the game boards, right?
One of the player boards.
Yep. Player boards. That's right. That's right.
Goes on the player boards. This is the two characters made for the one-on-one player boards, which is Aegir, which is the god of the ocean, one of the gods of the ocean, and then Thor.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this, and while it's playing, just kind of tell us a little bit about how you came up with the design, like what inspired you, or just tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to do this art, like this specific sketch or this artwork here? What was it, the way it's designed? Did you have references? Tell me a little bit about it.
I can't see what's being played, but
it's just the time lapse of the guy with the oar.
It's the time lapse of Aegir, Ryan.
Thank you.
Okay. So the funny thing with Aegir was just like I could not, I decided to do a 3/4 pose, and I just could not get it. I just couldn't get it. I couldn't visualize it. So I had to get into the pose and stand there and try to figure out, all right, what works, and so this was one of the ones where I gave up and I had to use myself as a reference. Because one of the challenges for this game was like, well, how much can I pull out of my imagination? Just as far as like light and shade. Obviously I'm looking historically at references and whatnot, but just light and shade. Like inform. How much can I pull out of my head? How much do I really know? And this one, I just couldn't do it. I had to. And you can see how many times I changed it.
Yeah, I see that in the timeline.
It's like So that but then what came out of that was his belt, that big WWE style,
totally
style belt, and I was
world champion.
Cool. Yeah, world champion of the oceans, and so like
I'm thinking I want to cosplay as this character. Just saying,
it'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got the belt design out of it, and his the whole belt design. I had to tackle those separately. I was like, oh, those are too cool not to pass up. And so it's one of those things that, like, there are a number of pieces in this game, art pieces, that just came out of me being like, oh, I need to do this. I don't know where we're gonna fit in the game, but like, it's gonna, I don't care. I'm just doing it. So.
Right on. No, this one turned out great, man. This one turned out great. And I know there's a few others that I want to take a look at. Let me just pop that up real quick. And then really this next one that we're looking at, this time lapse that we're looking at, is probably my favorite piece of art within the game, just because of how the scale of it, the detail of it. That let me pop this up real quick here. Share screen. Boom. Boom, and there. This one right here. This is probably my favorite here.
Oh, here we go. I can see it.
Thor versus Jormungandr, the World Serpent. So it's an awesome piece too.
Yeah, so I start off with Thor being the main, and then quickly I was like, well, what do you think, Ryan? And he's like, no. He's got to feel real big. And so I was like, okay, so here we go, And then when I was working on I think I was watching Dragon Ball Z while I was doing this, because
he looks like Shenron.
Yeah, Shenron just came out of it, and then I looked and I was like, damn, like I get that, I can't let that go, So like, it's I had to redesign the face, which is fine, but it's just funny, like, what feeds into your design or creative process and you don't even realize it, But
it's funny because, like, you see here in, like, the early portion of the drawing, how small the snake was compared to what's the creature's name? Sorry, I'm really slow with this. What's the creature's name?
Jormungandr.
Jormungandr. I like, it's got a nice ring to it. Jormungandr. You see,
pronouncing that wrong. That's just how I've always said it from when I read it in books and all that. Actually, I think that's how they say it. You'd have to look if you play God of War, the PS4 version. I think they actually say his name, but yeah, that's just the way I've always said it.
Right. So and God of War really gets that sense of scale, and like, we had both played, and I had just played God of War, and so, like, it was like, Ryan, you were like, oh man, we gotta get that scale, we gotta get like that big feeling, and I'm like, man, how do we do this and not make Thor just this tiny little guy, like, so it was fun to, like, play with the scaling aspect of it, and while still getting a fun picture.
Well, yeah, like I said, I'll say real quick with this one though, you can see how small compared, like, what you were thinking compared to what it eventually turned into.
Yeah.
Anyway, what were you saying, Ryan?
Just that's one of the things, and that's always it's always a lot of fun when Brian is working on this artwork. With I guess just with everything in general, because Brian will usually ask me on stuff. So one of the things to just go over is whenever I get into a project, I mean, like, I do like deep dive, like, I really envelop myself into whatever it is. I mean, when I started really, getting into Vikings, it was like that was my whole world. Like, that's all I was reading about, whether it was either Norse mythology or actual historical stuff. That's when I first started making my own mead, because it's like, hey, Vikings made mead, I'm going to make my own mead. Like, it all, like, I mean, I really dive into it. So it's always fun, because then when Brian's asking me about, any of the artwork that he's doing, he'll ask me about references. And, I'll tell him what I know, that, just what I know off the top of my head. But usually, because I have all these books and all this reference stuff, I'll go through, I'll find pictures of things. And especially with this one. So this artwork, specifically, because I feel like, especially with Thor and, with Marvel being so popular and all that, that a lot of people, when they think Thor, they think, blonde haired Marvel Thor. And that was one, I don't know if Brian ever put blonde hair on him. I think we had already went over it beforehand, but like, any of you guys that are watching, you can see. So Thor in Norse mythology was a redhead, so he has red hair. On top of that, you can kind of see as Brian's going through that Thor actually has gloves on. like actual armored gloves, and he has a belt on, and all of those were very important to. Again, it's all Norse mythology, but in their religion, because it wasn't Marvel's Thor where he can just he just controls the hammer and does everything.
Come on, man, you tell me that didn't happen.
Well, so he could actually control the hammer. The hammer would come back to him. He was the only one that could wield it. However, the big thing is those gloves and the belt are what actually made it possible, because the hammer was so hard to wield that Thor actually had to have his belt of power and his gloves. So he's able to use the hammer because of his gauntlets and his belt, along with the fact that he is a god, and he's a god of war, and he's one of the stronger gods. But all those things combined are what make it possible for him to use that. And that was just, It's really fun when we're going through all this stuff, because it's like, and I remember telling Brian, like, make him look however you want, but you have to make sure that one, he has red hair, not blonde, and he needs to have these gauntlets and this belt on. And from there, do whatever you want. But then, like Brian said, with making Jormungandr bigger, because he's the world serpent. In Norse mythology, he wraps completely around the entire earth, so he has to be big. And
wow, the entire earth, huh?
Yes.
So it's like, how do you get a really long snake? How do you get that sense of size into this little picture? And so it was like, well, the only way we could do it is to freaking wind them around, And so people have the context of where this is going. This is a player board, and like the player board. Okay, so
yeah, we looked. I think we looked at that last stream. We had that up, but yeah. Anyway, go on.
All right, yeah. All right. Well, just to reiterate, it goes on the player board.
Wasn't here last stream because we've already had a few people in this one that weren't with us last time. So
yeah. So with the player board, you're essentially covering up the artwork, but it's sort of like, it's where you're going to play the cards, and then, but it also sets the setting, and it's something that you can look at. And I wanted to make something that like you could really look at and you're not going to get tired of looking at, which, is always just then a delicate balance of like, how much do you throw into it before, because there's just so much detail that no one ever gets to see, so.
Right.
But it's still fun. I don't care.
No, absolutely, man. Absolutely. So we have do you want to play the time lapse of what is the belt?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
The belt was fun because the belt was just like, oh man, how do I fit the theme of what Aegir's about, on something protective, and so, yeah.
All right. Now is hopefully this is the right video we're looking at here. Is this the one here?
It might be sideways. Yeah,
this one was just a little choppier, I think. You can still see it, but it's a little choppier.
Yeah. Okay. So I took. See, his belt is in 3/4 view.
Yeah. Hold on a second.
The other one I sent you is higher resolution.
Yeah.
It should be. Yeah. It'll be sideways.
Yeah, that's fine. We can do that one. I like that. But Mad Respect TV says, "Wow, man, he's loving the artwork." Mankini says, "Awesome."
So,
yeah, real quick, he has Mad Respect has one question: is all of the major artwork complete for the game design process? Any major hurdles before the next step? So, has there been any major, or is it done? Is the artwork completed for the design process of the game?
Not fully. We are okay. So for just the,
I'll be right back, guys.
All right, do you think, man?
For the one versus one player, it's done. For the multiplayer, we're still working on it, right? But we're close. We're very close. No, the multiplayer was the biggest hurdle of the whole game. That took a long time to figure out because when you design something that's meant to be just one-on-one, like what do you do? How do you add 2 more people, right? How do you go from, one on one versus one to two versus two, right? Like it doesn't seem like much, but then but with this kind of game, it was really challenging. So that was the biggest challenge, but you know, pushing through that and getting, we're figuring it out. So we're getting there real soon. So what you're seeing in the time lapse is like I took a clip. I copied the side of the belt and I flattened it out, and then I just traced over my own work, and then duplicated it to the other side, and then you get the whole belt. So,
I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of fine detail there, man. That really is very intricate, and I feel like with like the Norse knot work and stuff like that, this fits very well in that. Like, what gave you the inspiration to make this belt? Was it something in real life that you kind of took inspiration from, or was it just from? I know you might have just answered that question, but
no, okay, I'll tell you what. If you play God of War, right? There are these little when you're going through the game, you discover these I don't know if they're cabinets or like chests, and then they open up, and then you look at the story, right?
Yeah, they're like the armoire things that have the
Yeah. So that was on my mind, and when I was doing his belt, I was trying to figure out, well, how do I include the various aspects of the ocean? And then I thought well, I wonder if I could do some kind of fun illustrative thing with that in the back of my head. And then I just started scribbling and doodling away, because the knot work, it's one of those things where it's you can go absolutely crazy, get completely lost in it, and then it just leads to things. So
I think what blows my mind, especially about artwork like this, is that you're essentially just starting from an inspiration or a thought, a place in your mind, and something that's never existed before, or something that's never been designed before, then comes onto paper, and you have something like this. And it's just crazy to see something like this actually started as nothing, and now this is just another thing that I love about art, man. Is just this is your mind at work, but yet it's steeped in the culture you draw the inspiration from, and right? It's just cool, man.
No, you touched on something really fun there. It's my mind, but it's not my mind, right? Because this is where you get the old Greek thought of muse or inspiration. They thought it was something that inhabited your studio, and then everyone, and then you kind of step into it. But that's, I think that's really close to what it is. You live in the world, and then that kind of channels itself through you sometimes, and you're just there for the ride.
Real quick, Scotty says, got a jet, guys, but I'm liking what I see. Looking forward to seeing more and trying this thing out. Keep up the great work. Thank you. These guys are working hard, man. These guys are, you know what, Scotty, I couldn't ask for a couple of better friends, man. These dudes have
coming by, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for coming by. And yeah, Blacklist, right? Blacklist games.
Yeah.
Go check out Blacklist.
Let's see.
Hour of Need just came out, I think, or is that it? The latest.
Hour of Need is on Kickstarter. It was one of the recent Kickstarters. I'm just grabbing. So this is one of their game. This is actually one of the expansions to the Street Masters.
That's sick. That's some good artwork too.
Yeah.
Go check out Blacklist games, guys.
I can't pull out the base game because of where I'm sitting, but no. So they actually, just to give them a little bit more of a plug. So what's coming up next, or I think what's going to be the next thing that everybody can get in on is, if I remember right, July 30th. They have their pre-orders coming out for Contra, the board game. Which I've been playtesting with them. It is a badass game. It's so cool. But yeah, so if you go to Blacklist Games, you love Contra, you love board games, that's their next one that's going to be that you could get in on, because everything else Right now, they don't have any active Kickstarters. You might still be able to. Actually, no. Yeah, their last Kickstarter just closed. So, but yeah, so the Contra one is going to be the next one that anybody could get in on. But yeah, I know they were teasing some new Kickstarter coming up soon. I don't know when that is though. But yeah, Contra's their next one that anybody could get in on. Otherwise, yeah, just go online. You can get Street Masters, I think, from a couple online sources. But yeah, they're a great company.
Nice. Blacklist Games, guys. Make sure you go check them out if you're into board games. Mankini says loving the process, or loving the help me out here. Read that.
Loving the process. Wow.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. I'm having issues today. Yeah, definitely, man. So you've got some fans out there, Skull. That's awesome. I love your artwork, by the way. All right, so I think we're gonna take a look at some more artwork here. This is definitely something you sent, and I think you wanted to talk about this a little bit. And I'm very intrigued by this picture here. I love
what else you sent?
I love the way you put it together, man. Just looking at this work here. Hold on a sec. All right, I think we'll just share it like that. I don't think I can full screen the picture, but we'll just share it like that. Picture right here.
Oh, yeah.
This is the one that you sent today. This is new. I've never seen this one until today. Can you see it,
Yeah.
Brian Skull?
Yeah, this is what I've been working on. This is part of the 4-player that we're adding. And so the fun thing with the 4-player is that it goes from sea to land, and so it allows us the ability to do more things design-wise and gameplay-wise, and then introduce 2 more gods that will go on the player boards, and Odin had to be one of them. And this is just, a real fun thing. Like, I actually haven't gotten any of you guys' feedback on this yet, so we could do it right now, like. But
yeah, I love it, man.
Literally, like, this got sent out today, so like, I think this is only the second time that I've even looked at this picture at this stage of things. You've been sending out like your rough sketches and the block-ins and that, but yeah, today was the first where you sent this out, and it looks so fucking badass.
I love that helmet. The
fucking so cool. Helmet. Oh my god, the helmet! I was having so much fun. So I was thinking like, oh, it's got bird wings on, right? So like, let's look at a bird skeleton. And then like I took like the essence of like a bird skeleton, and then like so the top ridge would be like the spinuous process, the spine of the bird, right? And then like the 3 lines is like the rib cage, and then you have the wings. And then like
it almost looks like the actual skeleton, like you said. Like the feathers have kind of weathered away a little bit.
Yeah. Like, and so, yeah, that's just kind of what I was thinking about, and that's what came out of it. And man, I just had, but a lot of that detail is you're not gonna be able to see it as well when it gets to the player board. So yeah, but you got to show people close-ups.
Beard Play says, "I challenge you to make Boldur next."
All right.
That's actually, yeah. That was
not allowed to talk about it there, Dieters.
No, so the thing was, when we were talking about because with the 4-player, we were talking about that, hey, now we get to add in some more player boards, and we had talked about this in the last live stream, but again, we have new people.
Can you zoom in on the helmet?
I don't think I can zoom in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so
sorry.
one of the things is with the player boards, because we are keeping everything about this game as historically accurate as possible. Obviously, we can't. There are a few things that are a little off, but with the gods, Drakkar is not a game where like you call upon the gods, and it's like Thor's not going to come in and throw a lightning bolt down or anything like that. But our way of including some of the artwork for the gods is that this is the god that your specific team or army worships, because that was very important in Viking culture. And originally we had Thor and Aegir because we were, sticking more to the land or to the sea battles, where Thor is a god of war, Aegir is a god of the ocean. But now that we're doing the land stuff, we were able to throw in Odin now, who's also another god that they would pray in times of war. And then the other one, well, we can say it. Screw it, it's us.
Freya.
Make our own damn rules.
That's what I'm talking about.
So
It's
then
Freya.
the other
It's
one
Freya.
is actually going to be Freya, which I don't think Brian has started on yet because he's been working on Odin. But so Freya is going to be the other one. Freya was actually the Norse god of love, among other things, but she was also a god of war because Freya could be a little promiscuous. And when Odin found out that Freya was kind of sleeping around and doing her own thing, because she's a nice, strong, independent woman, can do whatever the hell she wants. She's a goddess. Odin basically made her the goddess of war because of the wars that got started over love. So she's basically the love war goddess. I don't know how to put it, but yeah. So Freya will be the other player.
Isn't that jealousy? Jealousy? No, basically.
Love war? Just all the wars that get started over love is what.
Well, wasn't it claimed that she took at least half of the men on the battlefield?
Yeah,
you know, is it kind of like?
I don't remember if it might be half. I can't remember the exact number, but yeah. So Freya actually goes, and when she scours the battlefield, that she takes a certain amount of the souls for herself, just like Odin does. There's a few of them where they take, they get to pick kind of the souls of the slain warriors and bring them to their own halls and courts in Valhalla. So, but yeah, no, definitely Freya, and I'm sure that one's going to turn out bad, just super badass like all of them. But yeah, this was the first that we even got to see the Odin one, and it's hard to see on my little screen now, but from what I remember before, it was already looking really cool.
Every time somebody says the word Valhalla, it makes me think of the Blind Guardian song Valhalla. Anyway, just I like Blind Guardian. Anyway, okay, yes. Is there anything else that you wanted to show, Brian? I can't remember. I think we went over that. We did it. Yeah, I think that was pretty much it for some of the new design stuff, and at least that picture of Odin there. Odin is going to be in the game, yes?
His picture will be
player board.
Well, right. I mean, he exists in this universe, so to speak. Yes. Okay.
He exists in the way that the Vikings and Norse people would pray to him.
Right. I got you.
It's not like Odin isn't going to come into the game and fight your battles for you or come riding in with a spear and like none of that. I
spent my whole life praying to the guy and he doesn't even show up.
No, yeah, he's purely there for you to pray to, basically.
Okay, next time I'm playing this game, I will pray to him and I will beat you because I am going to beat you. Finally, it's going to happen. I'm telling you.
There's new rules now on that 4-player side, so you never know.
No, I want to beat you 1-on-1, baby. I gotta do it. And even if I'm 85 years old and that's when I beat you, my life will be complete. All right, real quick, if we start wrapping all of this stuff up, give us some updates. You guys have any updates? What's coming next? I know I got to work on videos, so I've been kind of busy with some other stuff, trying to get things rolling there. But I know we got a video coming out this week. Is there anything else that we got going on?
I am going to be, we sort of take turns play testing. So, and so Ryan has done the first run of the 4-player. And so I'm going to take a whack at it. And then we're going to go from there. And so we're trying to whittle our way down. And the artwork, we got some extra cards that I'll have to be doing artwork for, and then there's a few odds and ends, so I think the next thing that we're going to be focused on video wise is gameplay, right?
I think so. After I get this one edited, that's probably been up there for a few weeks, but we'll get that done.
Basically, we have to work on I think the plan is now, and this is all still up in the air, which I'm sure the three of us will figure out, off air. But basically, the plan is that we want to get some gameplay stuff out there for everybody that's watching. Because Brian brought to my attention, and I can't believe I didn't realize this today, that we don't actually have any video of gameplay. There's some stills out there, so you guys can definitely check those out. But we actually haven't done any video yet. So, and I'm sure a lot of you would love to see some video of the gameplay. So we'll probably try and get. I'm going to try and film maybe some aerial view gameplay just from me setting it up, and again, that would just be me working on it. Me and Brian are trying to figure out our next game development weekend, where unfortunately, with us living a little bit further apart, we have to figure out weekends when the two of us can.
All three of us live apart. It's
exactly. With all of us being kind of a distance of ways, we have to work out times and dates and all that for us to actually meet in person. So as soon as me and Brian can get together in person again, we'll do a full playthrough so everyone can see what's going on. Where we're at with the artwork and everything at that point, we won't know, but it should look pretty good just for the fact that we have the artwork for the boards done, and we have the artwork for at least all the cards on the ocean side. Like Brian said, he's going to start working on cards for the land battles, which, I'm sure that's going to be quite the big undertaking as usual. But yeah, it's a continuing process that obviously we're just going to keep working on as much as we can. For anybody that's watched any of the other Omni videos, I'm definitely going to get out I got to work on the Shield Maiden history and movement of the piece, as well as the archers, to get that out for any of you guys. And you guys need to let us know if you like seeing all that stuff, if it's, whatever else, or even, now while we're still doing the video, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, and we'll try and answer what we can right now.
Absolutely. Beard Plays says, I just want to see Brian draw all the gods, all of them. So get on it, as if you weren't busy enough.
There's so many gods.
Maybe do like a Justice League or like the Halls of Valhalla. Just do an entire, big cool panoramic view of all the gods standing next to each other. Just do all of them. Just do them all.
But finish this game first.
My biggest problem with that sentence is the just part.
Just do it, Brian. Just do it.
Just do it.
Mad Respect TV says, when's the launch party, fellas?
So this is the dose of reality, which COVID just raffle stomped, like just put an anvil right in the boom, just dropping them. So like we originally were shooting for end of the year, just for the Kickstarter launch and everything. We're not sure if that's realistic given the delays now, but as soon as we get a handle on that, you're gonna know. But so that's still an unknown because it's just of the setbacks.
Right on. McKinney says, will it be the same Buldur in God of War? Laugh out loud.
No. That's the fun thing, is that, like, you see some other artists, and geez, the art team that was used for God of War is just, these people are some of the best in the world, and so, you look at what they do and you're just like, oh man, I wish I had thought of that, but then you can't do it. You can't do what they did. So you kind of have to like look and see what was done and then try to just make up your own but also allow yourself to be influenced by, try to, like, you got to learn how to steal as an artist. So, or be inspired by, right? It's just, you take inspiration from this and this and this, and then you put it together in your own way. So,
I think the big thing is too, though, with that, I just want to make sure, because a lot of people obviously are asking about the gods, because we all know about the Norse god stuff. And like we were talking about a lot in this podcast, how Brian was using God of War as a big inspiration. And I love that game too. But it was more based on the gods of it, where again, our game is about the actual human people. And I think so far we've done a really good job of keeping it very historically accurate, and there's a lot of realism to it. So in reality, I would say if you're really wanting to look for more Viking references to this, that and in the media at least, that the TV show Vikings is where you should be, looking
show.
and kind of basing it off of, because that show, even though there are things that are off about it, but it's actually, I was really surprised, and it was pretty cool once I started reading all the actual literature and all that on historic, whatever references that people have in history, because it was so long ago. It's basically, hey, they're basing it off of word of mouth and then the eventual stuff that was written down. But Vikings, the TV show, did an amazing job of really showing what Norse life was like. The only things that are really off about that show is just the time of events. And the producers even said that they, in order to make it an interesting TV show, they had to speed up the course of events. But if you're, other than that, like if you just look at the way that like they're living life, especially in the early seasons, that was one. I started rewatching it. What's that, Brian?
Yeah, like I think like the first 4 seasons are just like rock solid.
Oh yeah, they're extremely accurate. One of the things that was really cool is in the first season they even talk about, they call it the Thing, and that's literally what the Norse people called their once a year meeting. It was basically like their assembly where people would come in and air their grievances, and it was just called the Thing. And when I went back and I started watching Vikings from the beginning, that's actually what they call it in the show. And they talk about how, Norse people actually had a thing where if you kill somebody at their house, you got some leeway. Like all you had to do was, if you kill a guy and then you walk down the street, when you get to his neighbor, you just have to tell him, hey, I just killed Bjorn down there because he murdered my wife or my son, or whatever his was. As long as you reported it, they would usually be like, oh, okay, you were justified in killing him because he did this to you. And they show all of that in that TV show. That TV show is actually,
anybody got a time machine? Just curious.
That show is extremely accurate. So if you're looking for media references, a little less God of War and more Vikings for how this is going to work, and on the tactics and the storyline behind it, and all of that
Hell
stuff.
Yeah. Beardplay says, what I've gathered from all of these years, I'm assuming what it says is Brian's art is easy and cheap. Duh. Thank you, Beardplay. That's very nice. All of that work we building him up this entire stream, and you just push him right in the mud. Thank you.
No,
for that.
that's, but it's funny.
Copy and paste everything. What are you talking about?
Pretty much, and the funny thing about that is like fine artists who don't dabble in digital art make it seem like digital art is really easy, and they talk about it like that. And then like anybody who's not an artist who wants you to do art, also they tend to talk to you like it's that. It's like, oh, you just do it.
Yeah,
like,
hey, Brad, you just whip me up some kind of mural or something. That'd be great. Just go ahead and do that for me. I need you to do that.
Just put pencil to paper and
Yeah, come on, man.
Make me Starry Night. Go ahead.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, and the behind the scenes on that is that like when you're working on something like that, it just takes over your brain. It's like it's your every waking thought. Like, and so I don't know. Anyway.
Right
party.
Yes, Mad Respect TV launch party, please. Just saying. At some point. Yeah, of course, man. And I'm pretty sure those who are close to us who are going to continue to support this, you will definitely be a part of that. When launch party happens, we're going to do a huge stream. It's going to be like a week-long celebration of Omni Lucid Media games and all the hard work these guys have put into designing something so great. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see the fruits of the labor. and all the hard work you guys have done. And I can't wait to see this thing be a success because there's no other option. It's going to be a success. So do we have any last things to add before we end the stream? Ryan, do you have anything to say?
For Omni Lucid or just in general?
And whatever. If you're feeling, spur of the moment, you got to say something passionate, or just, tell us where this lovely audience can find you on social media if they have any questions for you.
Yeah, no, I guess just overall, we can't wait to get this out to you guys. I know we say this all the time, and I definitely say it. Definitely, if you guys have any questions or things that you want us to talk about, or even if stuff you want us to go over in the live stream, let us know. We like to be as transparent as possible with everything. It's one of the things I will say since starting to do this, the board game community is just absolutely amazing. I can't wait to be more a part of it. Like I was saying earlier, with just talking with with Scotty and the Blacklist Games guys and the Sadler brothers over there. But I mean, they're not the only ones. Anybody that me and Brian are both part of a group on Facebook called Board Game Spotlight. Derek and Lizzie Funkhauser are on there. I haven't really talked to Lizzie as much, but Derek on there I've talked to multiple times, and he's been extremely helpful.
And even the artists who I'm discovering that are doing work for board games, there's a small handful of them are artists who I already follow, and I follow them because they're really cool, really down to earth people, and it's just so weird that like the board game community is one of the few communities that is art related, and they're not. And they're just great. They're just supportive. They're not vicious. They're not backbiting. There's so many artistic communities that you once you dive in, you're in this really vicious kind of game. And the board game community is just they just want to know what you've been playing.
Right.
Yeah. The great thing about it is everybody in the board game community, they're all board gamers too. So it's really weird, especially with how things are this day and age. But everybody in that board game community, I mean, here and there, there's people that are going to kind of be the sourpuss or whatever you want to call them. But for the most part, everybody supports everyone. Everyone's just oh, what are you doing? Oh man, I love your new game. Oh, I love this. I love that. I'm trying to think. I mean, not to get too much into just plugging everybody, but so for anybody that watching the artwork that Brian had going tonight with the I can't think what the hell's the word for that time
lapse.
Yeah, time lapse. There we go.
Yeah,
anybody watching that time lapse stuff. So
Stoners.
Another
no,
one
I'm just kidding.
that's really fun to watch. Manny Tremblay. He works on anybody that has ever seen Dice Throne. I can't remember the name of it. Roxley Games. Manny Tremblay is the artist for them, and he's pretty regularly he does live streams of him doing the artwork for it, and it's really cool to watch. He sits there, he talks and answers questions while he's playing it. I'm just trying to think of all the people that have been so helpful to me specifically, but us as a company and with this game. Michael Petrie, I'm not sure if that's how he pronounces his name, but with Pentree Games, they have one coming out. I can't remember. On the Rocks, that's the name of it. On the Rocks. They have a game that went on Kickstarter and all that. I've talked to him a bunch of times because On the Rocks is their first game. I've asked them tons of questions about, hey, how did you come up with your first demo copy? What did you do for your Kickstarter? How did you come up with your artwork, your videos, all that stuff? And I have not had a single bad experience with any of these creators. Every single one of them, I ask them a question and I feel like I'm imposing on them, hey, tell me your secrets. And every single one of them, every single time, they're like, oh yeah, we do this, we do that, blah, 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 do this, try this, whatever. Everyone's so helpful. It's a really great community to be a part of.
Absolutely. And the idea is just to keep that going. pay it forward in that sense. But all right, where can people find you, Ryan? If they want to have questions for you, where can they find you on social media?
Like we said at the beginning, you guys can hit me up on my personal stuff, which is just Ryan Neaters at Facebook or Instagram. Or if you want to get a hold of us, leave comments either in the YouTube or the OmniLucid Instagram stuff. Pretty much anything with OmniLucid, the YouTube, or me personally on Instagram or Facebook.
Right on. All right, Brian Skull, where can people find you on social media if they have questions about your beautiful artwork?
Brian Skull Art. Brian Skull Art on Instagram, Brian Skull Art on Facebook, brianskullart.com. And the same thing goes for OmniLucid, omnilucid.com, OmniLucid on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So it's easy to find. And as we ramp up, there will be more. And we're starting to ramp up.
That's right, baby. We are. And my name is Ords. You guys can find me on my channel over at youtube.com/ordsboard, where I'm doing pop culture news and video game streams. Tonight, I am streaming Diablo 2. It's going to be a regular thing on Sundays. I've got a whole group of friends. Brian, I'd love to have you join me sometime whenever you get that set up. But anyway, guys, come check out my channel. Come hang out. We have a good time over there. It's a place where people can come, relax, chill, and talk shit. But anyway, guys, this has been a blast. OmniLucid Media Games. Look for us. We're coming hard. This train is not going to stop. Thank you all for watching. I love hosting these things. With that being said, guys, say goodbye to everybody. Thank you so much for coming, everybody in the chat. You guys are amazing.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
All right. We'll catch you guys later. Peace, guys.